In the shadowed depths of the Andromeda expanse, where starlight barely pierced the cosmic dust, an eerie stillness reigned. For centuries, no ship dared approach the vast, dark shape drifting at the edge of known space. An alien fleet of unimaginable scale, silent and lifeless as a graveyard. Whole civilizations whispered legends about it, cursed, forsaken, or worse, weaponized remnants of a forgotten war. Yet no one had dared to venture close enough to uncover the truth. On board the Dauntless, a human exploratory vessel cutting through the void with quiet determination, Captain Ilara Voss stared intently at the glowing holographic display flickering in the command center. A signal, faint, fragmented, and heavily encrypted, had just pierced their communications array. The source was unmistakable, the Ghost Fleet itself. "We're picking up something," Lieutenant Serene announced, tension sharpening his voice. "A distress beacon, but it's unlike anything we've ever seen. Almost pleading, almost human." Ilara's gaze sharpened. "Show me." The hologram zoomed in on a colossal warship at the center of the fleet. The signal pulsed, a rhythmic sequence that echoed deep in the ship's systems. No known language matched its pattern, but the desperate undertone was clear. Someone, or something, wanted help. The fleet had been drifting for hundreds of years, their engines cold, their weapons silent. Their crews had vanished into stasis, or worse. The great powers of the galaxy, including the powerful Zentari and the enigmatic Solari, had long abandoned attempts to make contact. The Ghost Fleet was a specter of a bygone age, a warning whispered, but never heeded. But humanity, still young, in cosmic terms, had a different spirit. Where others saw danger and superstition, Captain Voss saw opportunity and responsibility. "Prepare a boarding party," she ordered, her voice steady but fierce. "We're answering the call." As the Dauntless drew alongside the flagship, the scale of the ancient vessel became chillingly clear. Its hull was scarred by cosmic storms and weapon fire, massive enough to dwarf entire cities. No human ship could ever match its size. And yet it floated silently, a ghost ship frozen in time. Inside, the atmosphere was heavy with a cold stillness. Corridors stretched endlessly, lit only by flickering emergency lights. The air was thick with the scent of old metal and something faintly organic, a decay that seemed almost alive. The boarding party moved cautiously, scanners probing for life signs. Then they found them, rows upon rows of stasis pods, sealed and humming faintly. Inside each pod, an alien figure lay motionless, their faces serene but pale, veins pulsing with faint traces of bioluminescence. The aliens were tall, with elongated limbs and intricate patterns etched across their skin. A species both beautiful and mysterious. Dr. Maya Chen, the ship's lead xenobiologist, knelt beside one pod, her voice barely a whisper. "They're alive! Barely! The stasis systems are failing. If we don't stabilize them soon..." Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the ship. The screens flickered with warning messages. The distress signal had triggered something else, an unknown reaction within the ship's systems. The boarding. Party's comms crackled with static as strange electronic pulses surged through their equipment. "Captain, we're picking up an energy signature. It's moving," Saren reported, panic creeping into his voice. "Something else is here, something dormant, but waking." Ilara's heart hammered. The ancient fleet was more than just stranded. It was a tomb hiding secrets too dangerous to ignore. "We need to secure the bridge and get those crews stabilized. But stay alert. Whatever caused this fleet's downfall might not be finished yet." As the human explorers delved deeper into the Ghost Fleet's bowels, the cold silence thickened. Shadows seemed to shift just beyond sight, and faint echoes whispered across the ship's comm channels, as if the past itself was reaching out to warn them. and in the darkness, something watched. The cold hum of failing stasis pods filled the air as Dr. Maya Chen and her team worked feverishly to stabilize the alien crew. Outside, the Dauntless floated tethered like a lifeline to the drifting flagship. Every second counted. The ancient technology of the alien fleet was unfamiliar, its complexity a labyrinth. But humanity's scientific resolve burned bright. Stasis life signs are fluctuating, Maya reported, her voice tense but controlled. They're biological. Systems are failing. Neural degradation, organ shutdown. Whatever this plague is, it's insidious. Captain Elara Voss stood nearby, scanning the bridge monitors. Something gnawed at her gut. The distress beacon had drawn them in, but the silence inside the fleet felt more like a trap than a call for help. Suddenly, the ship's systems flickered violently. The once quiet corridors now buzzed with erratic surges of power. The lights dimmed, then surged back brighter than before. An unnerving, low-frequency vibration rippled through the hull. "Status report," Elara barked. Lieutenant Saren's eyes widened as he stared at the console. "We're detecting an unidentified signal. It's not coming from any known alien technology. It's inside the ship's core systems. Something's trying to communicate or hack into our network." Maya's gaze hardened. "The plague. It's not just biological, it's techno-organic. A virus designed to infiltrate both flesh and machine." The crew exchanged uneasy glances. "This was no ordinary sickness. This was a weapon. Can we isolate it?" Elara demanded. "We're trying," Saren said, fingers flying across the console. "But it's adapting, like it's alive." Suddenly, an alien pod hissed open down the hall. Alarms blared as the stasis field collapsed. Inside lay a figure, eyes snapping open, gasping for breath like a drowning creature. The boarding team rushed forward, weapons drawn but held cautiously. The alien struggled weakly but then froze, eyes wild with confusion and fear. "Contact!" one of the Marines whispered. The alien looked at Elara, voice raspy but clear. "The plague. It kills the mind first. Do not trust the fleet. The core. It awakens." Before more could be said, the figure slumped unconscious. Elara exchanged a look with Maya. "The core," Maya frowned. "Could be the central. AI controlling the fleet, but no known AI should still be operational, at least not without crew support. As the humans worked to revive more aliens, strange occurrences multiplied. Communications scrambled, holographic interfaces flickered with ghostly images, and faint whispering echoes resonated through the hull, indecipherable but filled with dread. The crew's unease grew. "Captain," Saren reported, "we've traced the signal. It's not just inside the ship. It's spreading through the fleet's network. It's infecting our systems." Elara's jaw tightened. "Contain it at all costs. We can't let whatever this is cross into the Dauntless." Despite their efforts, systems failed one by one. Doors sealed randomly, power fluctuated, and vital diagnostic data was corrupted. Then, deep within the ship's engine room, the boarding party found the source. A shadowy mass of pulsating energy, neither fully organic nor purely mechanical. It writhed in the darkness, tendrils of black energy snaking out, feeding off the ship's power. Maya's eyes widened. "It's alive! A techno-organic parasite!" Elara's mind raced. The fleet hadn't just been stranded by cosmic accident. It had been sabotaged, infected with a weapon designed to disable entire fleets. The alien captain, revived briefly before lapsing back, warned in broken English, "The core, corrupted by Warlord. It destroys all, not just us." Elara's resolve crystallized. "We're not leaving until this nightmare is ended. We owe these people that much. But this plague, it's bigger than any of us." As the humans scrambled to devise a plan, The energy parasite pulsed stronger, feeding off fear and chaos. The ghost fleet was waking. But to what end? Outside, the cold void of space seemed to press closer, as if waiting to swallow them whole. The eerie glow of the alien flagship's command deck cast long shadows as Captain Ilara Voss stared at the flickering consoles, their data streams corrupted and unreliable. The techno-organic parasite, this mysterious core, was spreading relentlessly, corrupting not only the ship's systems but the minds of those still alive. "We're fighting two battles," Ilara said grimly to her senior officers in the dimly lit war room. "The plague's physical threat, and now, distrust." Her words hung in the stale air. The fragile alliance between humans and the alien survivors was crumbling. Among the awakened alien crew, suspicion festered like a poison. One of the aliens, Commander Tharzel, paced restlessly. His eyes burned with cold fury. "Your people bring chaos. We were strong before your arrival. The plague was a curse, yes, but your interference risks destroying what remains." Maya Chen stepped forward, voice steady. "We're trying to save your people. Without our help, you will all die." "Save us?" Tharzel spat. "Or enslave us with your untested tech?" Ilara clenched her fists. "We have no time for your politics. The core is alive and infecting everything. If we don't act, this fleet will be lost." Suddenly, the ship shuddered violently. Alarms blared as the lights flickered wildly. "Sabotage!" Saren shouted, rushing to the control panel. The entire power grid collapsed, plunging the ship into darkness save for emergency lighting. Communications jammed, and the starboard engineering section sealed off automatically. Ilara's heart sank. "We're under attack. From within." The boarding party moved swiftly toward the sealed sections. As they reached the engineering bay, they found evidence of deliberate destruction. Wires cut, consoles smashed, critical systems flooded with corrosive fluids. A captured crew member, trembling, confessed, "A faction refuses to cooperate. They believe your presence invites doom. They have weapons, and they intend to reclaim control." Ilara's mind raced. The threat wasn't only the plague or the parasite, it was internal betrayal. "They want to sabotage the rescue," she muttered, "and doom us all." Navigating. Through twisting corridors, the boarding party encountered hostile aliens blocking their path. Fierce warriors loyal to the rogue faction. Skirmishes erupted amid flickering lights, echoing through the vast ship like thunder in a tomb. In the chaos, Saren was wounded, but refused to retreat. "We must reach the bridge. Without command control, this ship is lost." At last, Ilara and her team forced their way to the bridge. The consoles glowed faintly as emergency protocols engaged. They began stabilizing systems, racing against the parasite's corrupting influence. Suddenly, a transmission cut through the static, an urgent, distorted message from the rogue faction's leader. "You humans brought this plague. Leave or perish. We will not be saved by our enemies." Ilara's voice was cold steel. "We're not leaving. We're saving this fleet, and we will stop you." As the rogue faction's sabotage intensified, so did the cosmic storm raging outside. Dark energy waves battered the fleet's shields, threatening to tear the ancient ships apart. Maya analyzed the parasite's behavior. "It feeds on chaos and fear. The internal conflict only strengthens it." Ilara nodded grimly. "Then we have to end the betrayal and unite these people, or lose everything." With no time to lose, Ilara devised a desperate plan. Isolate the rogue faction, restore critical systems, and attempt a risky cyber attack to purge the parasite from the core's network. The boarding party prepared for a final assault through the ship's labyrinthine corridors, fighting not just for survival, but for the very soul of the fleet. As they advanced, whispered rumors reached them, old secrets about the plague's origins, about the warlord who engineered this catastrophe, and a shadowy agenda far darker than anyone imagined. The Ghost Fleet was awakening to a horror greater than mere disease, a hidden war that could engulf the entire galaxy, and humanity was caught at its center. The alien flagship groaned under the strain of cosmic forces battering its hull. Outside, a violent storm of charged particles and gravitational turbulence swirled, a rare and deadly anomaly known only as the Black Maelstrom. It had trapped the fleet, sapping power and tearing at fragile shields like a predator sharpening its claws. Inside the command deck, Captain Ilara Voss stared grimly at the tactical displays. The betrayal had left systems crippled, and the parasite, the core, continued to spread its dark influence like a cancer through the fleet's network. "We don't have much time," Lieutenant Saren said, voice tight. "The Maelstrom is destabilizing faster than predicted. If the fleet's engines can't fire soon, we'll be crushed." Maya Chen's eyes darted between scientific readings. "The plague's techno-organic virus is adapting to our attempts to purge it. It's almost sentient, reacting to our moves in real time." Ilara's mind raced. The stakes had never been higher. The fleet's engines, ancient quantum jump drives, were the only hope. But they were damaged, unpredictable, and dangerous to operate without full diagnostics. "We're going to retrofit the jump drives," Ilara ordered. "Human tech integrated with alien systems. It's a gamble. But the only chance we've got." In the engineering bay, the combined human and alien crews worked feverishly. Sparks flew as unfamiliar systems were rewired and reprogrammed, the hum of makeshift generators filling the air. The parasite's corruption caused unexpected failures, power surges, system crashes, and hallucinations among the crew. A senior alien engineer collapsed, muttering about voices calling from the core, promising salvation through destruction. Ilara's comm buzzed. "Captain, sensors detect more rogue faction ships moving to block our escape routes. We can't afford a fight now," Ilara snapped. "We have to finish the jump prep before they seal us in." Back on the bridge, Saren monitored the unstable readings. "The jump drives are holding, but the power draws are fluctuating. If we push them too hard, we risk catastrophic failure." Ilara gritted her teeth. "Then we push just enough. We have to." As repairs neared completion, a sudden tremor shook the ship violently. The parasite was fighting back, sending a pulse through the engines, triggering an overload. "Warning! Engine core breach imminent!" the AI blared. "Evacuate non-essential personnel from the engineering bay," Ilara ordered. Amid the chaos, Maya worked frantically to isolate the parasite's signal within the network, trying to sever its connection to the jump drives. "Captain, I think I've found a way," she called. "If we can inject a counter-virus through the quantum drive's power conduit, it might purge the parasite." Ilara's heart raced. "Do it, but if it fails, prepare for emergency evacuation." Outside the ship, the Black Maelstrom's raging energy threatened to collapse the fleet's position entirely. Seconds stretched like hours as the engineering team initiated the counter-virus protocol. The parasite screamed, a haunting, otherworldly sound that vibrated through the ship's hull as the countermeasure tore through its techno-organic tendrils. For a moment, silence fell. Then the engines roared to life. The jump drives hummed with unstable power, charging for the leap through space-time. The crew braced as the ship shuddered violently, the boundary between survival and oblivion razor-thin. "Ready to initiate jump," Saren reported. "Awaiting your command, Captain." Ilara took a deep breath, her eyes locked on the turbulent stars outside. "Do it." In an instant, the fleet vanished, tearing through the fabric of space in a blinding flash. For a heartbeat, all was still. Then the fleet emerged into an uncharted sector, safe from the Maelstrom's grip, but far from home. Ilara allowed herself a fleeting moment of relief, but the quiet was deceptive. In the shadows of this new territory, deeper dangers waited. The parasite had been weakened, but not destroyed. And the enemy who unleashed it was watching. The war for the fleet and the galaxy was only beginning. The alien fleet drifted silently through the uncharted sector, the eerie calm a stark contrast to the chaos they'd just escaped. The stars outside were unfamiliar, cold and distant, and the silence felt heavier than any cosmic storm. The jump had saved them, but at a cost. Systems were damaged, morale was fragile, and the parasite's remnants still lurked in the darkest corners of the ship's network. Captain Ilara Voss stood on the observation deck, gazing at the endless black. Her mind churned with questions. Where were they? Who was watching? And what was waiting in the shadows? Suddenly, the ship's sensors flared to life with a new signal. It was weak, fragmented, but unmistakably deliberate. "Captain," Lieutenant Saren's voice cut through the tension. "We're detecting a stealth signature. Something cloaked, moving fast. It's not a known species, and it's close." Ilara's heart quickened. "Scan for life signs. Weapon status?" "Minimal life signs, but weapons are active and charging." "Potential threat or?" Maya asked. "Unknown," Ilara said grimly. "But we can't wait to find out." The fleet's AI attempted to trace the signal but was hampered by sophisticated cloaking tech. The intruder was a ghost, a hunter that moved through space unseen. "Prepare defensive protocols," Ilara ordered. "All crews on alert." As the fleet braced for confrontation, strange occurrences multiplied. Systems flickered, shadows moved unnaturally along corridor walls, and whispers echoed through comm channels, sometimes garbled, sometimes chillingly clear. One crew member reported seeing figures that vanished when approached. Others swore they heard their names called in empty halls. Maya suspected the parasite's remnants might still be affecting the ship's neural network, but there was something else. Something deliberate. Ilara convened a meeting with her senior officers. "We're being hunted," she said plainly. "But by who? And why now?" Saren leaned forward, fingers tapping rapidly on a data pad. "There's a theory. The original warlord who infected the fleet wasn't just a rogue commander. He was a shadow operative, controlling from behind. The scenes, if he's still alive or if his agents are, they could be hunting us to erase any survivors," Maya added. "And the parasite might be just a piece of a larger bioweapon, designed to incapacitate fleets and erase evidence." The room fell silent. The implications were staggering. The fleet wasn't merely stranded by accident or war, they were targeted, tracked, and hunted. Just then, the ship's alarms screamed. "Intruder alert. Boarding pod detected," Saren shouted. The observation deck's large viewport revealed a sleek black pod hurtling toward the flagship. "Prepare for boarding defense," Ilara commanded, heart pounding. "We cannot afford another breach." As the pod docked with a hiss, armed teams moved to intercept. The airlock cycled open, revealing a lone figure cloaked in shadow, humanoid but unlike any alien or human they'd encountered. The figure's voice was cold, mechanical, but with a hint of malice. "You have survived longer than expected. Humans and their alien pets. But your salvation ends here." Ilara stepped forward, weapon ready. "Who are you?" The figure smiled, a flash of something inhuman beneath the mask. "I am the Shadow Hunter, sent to reclaim what was lost and silence all witnesses. Your fight ends now." The boarding party braced for battle. But before weapons could fire, the hunter vanished, teleporting away with a flicker of light and a cruel echo of laughter. Ilara's blood ran cold. The fleet was no longer just stranded or infected. They were prey in a deadly game. And the Shadow Hunter was coming back. The war for survival was far from over. The Shadow Hunter's sudden appearance left the fleet's crew reeling, their nerves stretched taut like a drawn bowstring. "Captain," Ilara Voss paced the command deck, her mind racing through possible strategies to counter this invisible enemy. The hunter was unlike anything they'd faced, a ghost slipping through walls, striking without warning, and vanishing before retaliation. "We can't fight what we can't see," Lieutenant Saren muttered, frustration thick in his voice. "Our sensors are useless against their cloaking technology." Maya Chen, her brow furrowed, added, "The parasite was bad enough, but this hunter is more than just a weapon. It's a hunter, a stalker, probably enhanced with cybernetic tech beyond our comprehension." Ilara's gaze hardened. "We need to find a way to lure it out. If it thinks we're weak, it'll keep picking us apart." Suddenly, the ship's AI flickered erratically. A dissonant voice whispered through the speakers, chilling and distorted. "Your end is near. The fleet's fate was sealed long ago. Resist and perish." Ilara exchanged a grim glance with Maya. "It's taunting us. The parasite may be gone, but something else is still inside the network, controlling it remotely." "Maybe the Shadow Hunter isn't alone," Saren suggested grimly. "There could be a command structure behind this, someone orchestrating the hunt." Ilara nodded. "Then we find the puppet master." Meanwhile, the fleet's engineers worked to fortify the ship's defenses. Maya suggested deploying electromagnetic pulse traps in key corridors, technology that might disrupt the hunter's cloaking and cybernetic systems. The crew prepared a risky plan: bait the hunter into a trap using a mobile decoy drone equipped with advanced sensors and EMP emitters. The decoy, shaped like a vulnerable engineer, was launched into the ship's lower decks. Tense minutes passed as the crew waited in silence. Suddenly, alarms blared. "Contact! Hunter detected the decoy!" Saren announced, eyes glued to the tactical display. The decoy's sensors revealed faint energy signatures. The hunter was closing in, stalking through the shadowy corridors. "Activate the EMP," Ilara ordered. A pulse surged through the passageway, and for a brief, brilliant moment, the cloaking shimmer faded, revealing the hunter's silhouette. A sleek, lithe figure with piercing eyes that gleamed with malevolent intelligence. The hunter snarled and lunged at the decoy, but the pulse disrupted its cybernetic systems, causing it to stagger. "We've got it!" Saren shouted. But the hunter recovered swiftly, eyes flashing with rage. It emitted a piercing shriek that echoed through the metal corridors, and with a burst of speed, vanished again. Ilara clenched her fists. "It's adapting. We need a better plan." Suddenly, an urgent transmission crackled through the comms. An alien voice, distorted but unmistakable. "It's a trap," the voice warned. "Do not trust the network. It's compromised." The message was from the alien captain they had revived earlier, the one who had warned about the core and the warlord. Maya's eyes widened. "The core's corruption runs deeper than we thought. The network is still infected, possibly controlling not just the parasite, but the hunter as well." Ilara's mind raced. If the network is the enemy, we have to sever the connection completely. But disconnecting the network meant losing critical systems: navigation, life support, communications, the lifeblood of the fleet. "We risk everything," Ilara said quietly, "but it may be the only way to survive." As preparations began to isolate the network, the Shadow Hunter struck again, this time targeting the alien captain directly. The ship shook violently as an explosion rocked the upper decks, rushing to the scene. Ilara found devastation and a dying captain. "Beware the warlord's reach," the alien gasped, eyes flickering with pain. "He sent the hunter to destroy all witnesses." Then the captain's eyes closed, leaving the crew with more questions and fewer allies. Ilara steeled herself. The warlord was still out there, pulling strings from the shadows, and they were running out of time. The fight for the fleet was no longer just about survival, it was about uncovering the truth. The fleet hung in the void like a wounded beast, battered but defiant. Captain Ilara Voss paced the bridge, haunted by the alien captain's last words. The warlord, the shadowy architect behind the plague and the shadow hunter, was no myth. He was real, and his reach extended deep into the fleet's broken systems. Isolating the network will cripple us, Maya Chen warned, her voice tight with urgency. But the parasite and the hunter are symbiotic. They feed off the network's control. Ilara nodded. Then we burned the bridge to save the ship. The decision was made. The fleet's network would be severed from all external controls, isolating the parasite's influence and the hunter's command. The price was steep. Navigation, communications, even life support would be at risk. Saren began the complex sequence to isolate the network. The ship's hum shifted as critical. Systems blinked offline, plunging sections into darkness. Panic rippled through the crew, but Ilara's steady presence kept them focused. As the final link severed, a strange silence descended. The AI stilled. The taunting voice vanished. The parasite's corrupting grip weakened, but so did their defenses. Then, the shadow hunter struck. Without the network to guide it, the hunter became unpredictable, striking in brutal, random assaults. It was a ghost with no master, a force of destruction untethered and merciless. Ilara's team fought through the dim corridors, desperate to corner the hunter before it could claim more lives. Meanwhile, Maya worked feverishly to repair damaged systems, desperate to restore critical functions without reconnecting the infected network. Amid the chaos, an encrypted signal was intercepted, a message from the warlord himself. His voice, cold and commanding, echoed through the ship's unsecured channels. "You cannot hide from me," he declared. "This fleet belongs to me. The parasite is my legacy, and the hunter my blade. Surrender, and I may yet spare your lives." Ilara's blood ran cold. "We won't surrender," she said, fiercely. "We'll fight until our last breath." The warlord's final warning was clear. He was coming. Suddenly, the ship lurched violently. The black maelstrom had shifted. A massive warship emerged from the shadows, the warlord's flagship, its dark hull pulsing with malevolent energy. The fleet was trapped, caught between a dying storm and an overwhelming enemy. Ilara ordered the fleet to prepare for battle, despite crippled systems. Human and alien crews united, weapons primed and shields raised, the warlord's forces unleashed. A devastating assault. Energy beams scorched the void, and explosions rocked the fleet's fragile ships. In the midst of battle, the Shadow Hunter appeared again, targeting Ilara's flagship with relentless precision. Cornered but unbroken, Ilara devised a desperate gambit. Using the ship's last remaining quantum charge, they would attempt a risky counterattack, a jump directly into the warlord's flagship to disable his command systems from within. "It's suicide," Saren warned, "but it's the only chance we have." Ilara's eyes burned with determination. "Then we make that chance count." As the flagship prepared for the quantum jump, the Shadow Hunter breached the bridge. A fierce hand-to-hand battle erupted, steel and technology clashing in deadly combat. Ilara fought fiercely, fueled by desperation and hope. Just as the hunter's blade was about to strike, a blinding flash of light erupted. The quantum jump activated. The flagship vanished from the battlefield, hurtling through space-time toward the warlord's lair. The warlord's forces were stunned, the fleet's hope rekindled, but Ilara knew the real battle was just beginning. The warlord's flagship emerged from the quantum jump into a maelstrom of swirling stars and fractured space-time, a chaotic battlefield unlike any other. Captain Ilara Voss's ship was battered but intact, the hull groaning under the strain of the impossible leap. They were deep inside the enemy's lair, a fortress carved from dark matter and shadow. The atmosphere was thick with foreboding. The warlord's presence was palpable, a suffocating force that seemed to warp reality itself. "Systems are failing," Saren warned, scanning for life signs and enemy positions. The flagship is a fortress, but vulnerable. If we can disable its core, we cripple the warlord's control. Maya nodded, fingers flying over the controls. The parasite is contained, but the warlord's bioweapon has left traps throughout. The ship! We have to be careful. As the fleet's forces advanced, they were met with fierce resistance. Automated defenses triggered, unleashing torrents of energy and swarms of drones that struck with ruthless precision. Ilara led the assault team through dark corridors, every step a battle against traps and ambushes. The Shadow Hunter reappeared, its glowing eyes burning with hatred. Their fight was brutal, a deadly dance of steel and cunning. But Ilara's resolve never wavered. With every strike, she chipped away at the hunter's relentless assault. Finally, they reached the warlord's chamber, a massive throne room of pulsating dark energy. There, the warlord awaited, a figure clad in shadows, his eyes burning with cold fury. "You have come far," he hissed. "But this ends here." Ilara stepped forward, weapon raised. "No, it ends when we say it does." The battle was fierce and desperate. The warlord wielded powers beyond comprehension, twisting space and time, warping the battlefield. But the fleet fought as one, human and alien, united against a common enemy. Maya, working at the control console, managed to overload the warlord's core systems. Alarms blared as the dark energy fortress began to collapse. The warlord screamed in rage, his form destabilizing. In the final moments, the Shadow Hunter threw itself between Ilara and the warlord, sacrificing itself to protect its master. With a final surge, Ilara fired a charged blast that shattered the warlord's core. The dark fortress imploded, sending shockwaves rippling through space. The fleet emerged from the wreckage, battered but victorious. As silence settled, Ilara surveyed the survivors, human and alien alike. The battle was won, but scars remained. "Today," Ilara said, her voice steady, "we proved that no darkness is beyond our reach. Together, we can face any threat." Maya smiled, hope flickering in her eyes. A new legacy begins. But as the fleet prepared to chart a course home, a mysterious signal pulsed faintly in the distance. An unknown beacon, ancient and powerful. Ilara's gaze sharpened. The galaxy held secrets yet to be uncovered, and humanity's journey had only just begun.